Hi everyone, I'm Alex and I'm going to try and clean the front element of this Canon FD 50mm lens following steps of Kenneth from Mike No 62 channel, and I'm going to use the following tools for that. Dental tool to pry things open, air thingy, LED light, small screwdriver. This is my lens, back pad to clean lens elements, Eclipse fluid to use it to clean, and finally plastic folder with some coffee stains to put in between dental tool and the lens so I don't scratch the lens when I'm going to open it. Also, I have this micro four thirds adapter attached, so I can have aperture open all the time when I am looking through the lens, and as you can see it's not bad, but I opened this lens a couple of times already and I seem to leave some smudges behind me, so I'm hoping this time, well, I'm wearing gloves for the whole time of opening this lens, and having washed these gloves thoroughly and hoping that I am not going to scratch my face in the process, I am going to clean the front element of this lens. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put everything away from my work area. This looks like it's roughly in the middle. Then I'm gonna put the edge of the file or folder between the lens face and the lens element, and I'm going to pry the lens face open. Now what I'm gonna do is unscrew this 3 screws. I don't have a GTS screwdriver, so I'm gonna use small Phillips, and I will try my best to be very careful not to strip these elements. They're not held with a lot of force, even though this is not the first time that I disassemble this part of the lens. So whatever force I put in it in the times before this, I have it here, but initially it wasn't held particularly tight. I still have markings on this stamped front element. However, one thing I notice about this element is it can only be orientated the one way, and so the screws are still exposed. So it might not be true for every generation of the lens, but for this lens, this notch aligns with the focus mark. And what happens if you want to I'm just gonna wait for the camera to decide to focus on the lens and not on the, come on, you can do it, I believe in you, there we go. What happens is if you try to if you put this ring wrong and align it with the screw hole here, it's not gonna align with other screw holes. So there's only one way you can align this. You see, you can only screw in one screw hole here. So the only right way is to align it this way when all screw holes align, and it aligns with the focus mark here. So I'm gonna remove this part. And now this is the lens element. Again, I made some markings here, but I haven't really seen any notches or anything that would make it align only a certain way. Well, before I am going to pull it out, I'm going to take one pack pad and I'm going to use it as a pad, literally as a pad, to keep my lens on it. It's a little bit difficult to get just one pad while wearing the gloves. So this is here. Camera is still out of focus. Okay, you can do it. Camera, I believe in you. Okay, so now I am going to take this and flip it upside down. Then I will unclip these clips with my dental tool. Just need to go underneath them and then they pop. Doesn't take a lot of force. In fact, it takes very little force. So I'm gonna put this aside. And now the annoying bit is removing the cemented two-piece element. What I do is this. It kind of, if you can see, it kind of popped a little bit open. There is a circular notch on the cemented element, so what I'm trying to do is get to that notch, and once it's out a little bit, I carefully wedge this dental tool so it doesn't slip and scratch the paint. I just carefully wedge it and pull it, and the element should fall into my hand like this. So I am going to find my LED light and I am going to shine it through the lens, see what's going on. This element is actually not bad at all. I cleaned it already and there doesn't seem to be a lot of smudges there, so I'm gonna leave it alone here for the minute. But this element has smudges and it has dust in it, not a ton, but some. So I will try to get rid of that. Okay, so blow some air first. I also have compressed air, but the annoying thing with compressed air, sometimes it sprays a little bit of fluid. It's not actually air, it's something else, but this can is almost empty, so I have good chances of not doing that. Also, I can spray it outside a little bit just to clear the channel, and then I can try and clean the lens from the dust. Okay, so let's see how that went. Yeah, not a lot of dust, but it looks like there's a smudge on the ring around the lens. That's the kind of smudge that I have the most trouble getting rid of. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another pack pad. They feel a little bit like you know, when they put new electronics like computer, TV screens or computers, and they put them in this bag, and through the glove, this pack pad feels almost exactly like that bag, but maybe it is something different. So I am spraying this fluid, which is probably something like a lighter fluid in its very core, and I'm going to swipe from the center to the edges and hope that I can get rid of all the smudges on this side, from the center to the edges. I'm gonna do it again. I think I just made a mistake, and there's a small marker mark. And when I touch that mark with the spec pad, it dissolves it and leaves the residue on the back pad that I then use to clean the lens, and yeah, you see what happens then. Okay, let's try and shine the line through the... Okay, I think there it is less, so I'm gonna assume that whatever smudges I have are on the back of the lens, and I'm going to put this element down. I'm gonna fold this back pad so I use a different side of it. I'm gonna drop a couple of drops in here. Then I'm going to attempt and clean the inner part of the lens. I originally put the smudges in myself by just trying to clean the lens with microfiber cloth and just some spray for cleaning glasses. But obviously that did more harm. It did take the dust out, but it left some undesirable coating. This is actually a lot better. There's like one tiny smudge. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do anything better than that. Okay, I'm gonna try and blow some air over it without introducing any more smudges. So I'll let the air out first and then blow. Same here, same thing on the other side. Okay, let's see how clean this element is. This is actually not bad at all. Now I want to, before I put everything back in, want to inspect each element. Yeah, I didn't really clean this one. Maybe I'll just do a quick wipe from the center to the sides. Maybe I'll get more of the dust out. Same here, from the center to the sides. Let's see. Yeah, it's about the same. I have a couple of dust particles in the center of the lens, so maybe let me get a couple of drops of lens fluid, lens cleaning fluid. Maybe I'll be able to get some more of the things out. Let's see now. Yeah. Now the trick is to do the same thing. The back of the lens. The problem is it's so small, I can't really, my fingers are so big that can't really go from the center to the sides. Okay. Let's see how that worked. Yeah, I still have a couple of particles here and there, but maybe if I try to do this, go from center to the sides, just rub this repeatedly. Yeah, that actually helped. That really helped. So yeah, so far there's a couple of particles here and there, but so far I'm satisfied with the result. Going to put the element in, maybe rub the housing so the dust doesn't get shaken off into the lens while this thing is assembled. Then I'm going to put the plastic holder. I don't see any particular notches in the lens housing, so I'm not sure if there's any particular way I can put this lens. I'm just gonna drop it here, hope for the best. Yeah. Then I'm going to put this housing in. As you can see, it will only align one way, which is here. So this notch aligns with the focusing mark. And I'm going to put down the lens. Then I'll tighten the screws, hopefully without scratching the lens element in the process. So the trick here is to maybe start unscrewing. That will center the screw, and then screw it in. I'm just gonna screw all the screws first, so it just touches the housing, and once I'm done, I'm gonna go around one more time and tighten all the elements. So before I finish assembly, I'm going to tighten this one, tighten this one. Just tighten it very gently because it wasn't tightened too much, and if I planning to open this lens up with the Phillips screwdriver, I don't want to strip the screw heads in the process. So okay, now let's see how good or bad this thing is. It seems pretty okay. I see something, maybe it's lens, maybe it's fine, but I see a thin layer of something in there, but it's consistent, so I am optimistic about it. So now I am going to put the lens plate back on, and the final thing I'm gonna do in this video is I'm going to take off my Panasonic 25mm lens and show how this lens performs. Note that the lens I have right now is 25mm and this one is 50, so it's going to be twice as close, and I'm also going to shine light through it. So let me shine light through Panasonic. The Panasonic one, it's also have a it has just a transparent filter in front of it, and that introduces artifacts as that blue glow that you see reflecting from the light and onto the filter. But otherwise there is a little bit of glowing on the edges. You see how Panasonic deals with it. Now, you know what, I want to show, if my camera can focus, that would be great. Okay. Want to show the, how much dust we have in here. I didn't clean all of the dust, just some on the front element. There's still quite a bit on the back element. Actually this also shows how light shines through Canon lens. Well, anyway, now I'm going to remove Panasonic lens and I'm going to install this one, and then I'm going to shine some light through it. Okay, so this is Canon FD, and as you can see, focus works just as well. Now what I'm gonna do, it's at f1.8. I'm going to step it down until we roughly see something. That's f5.6, and now I'm going to try to get it to focus. Okay, so let's, I'm gonna step it up to 5. And let's shine some light and see how it performs. Oh, I forgot to tell my Panasonic lens, it was also at f5 aperture, so I guess this is ideal settings for this kind of lighting. So you see there is this reflection that is kind of bluish, and I'm thinking it might be the lens coating that I have introduced, because there are no filters or anything on this lens, and there's also more shining around the edges, but I don't think it's that much more. Anyway, so this has been my lens cleaning video, not of this lens of course, and I hope it's been helpful. I'm trying out making videos. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this, and thank you for watching.